And it's time for Lefties Losing It, and the broken, soulless ghouls of the left have really disgraced themselves in recent days after the murder of a great American, Charlie Kirk. No matter how low our opinion, our expectations of these miserable miscreants of the left, they still manage to surprise us with the depth of their depravity.
The sympathy for Charlie Kirk is fucking weird.
You want to know why I'm so stoked? Go ahead and Google Charlie Kirk.
They got him in the net! Rest in peace, bozo!
I do not feel bad for him in the slightest.
Put down like a dog in Utah, and I could not be happier.
Charlie would have wanted it this way.
He's been one of the most divisive younger figures who is constantly pushing hate speech.
Oh, they clapped him.
I think it's worth to have a cost.
C'est qui va plus donner de conférence? Qui? Charlie Kirk.
The rhetoric of Charlie Kirk, the way that he condoned violence exactly like this, and how it came back to hurt him. Everything that we're seeing with the Trump regime, it stems from Charlie Kirk.
We don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration.
Now, here are two witches. The first is planning to celebrate the next assassination. These people are demonic.
If you were gonna get the job done, there were two better candidates. And furthermore, when that happens, and it will, it will, not only will we be insensitive, that'll be the least of your worries. But it's gonna be the biggest celebration, the biggest, most beautiful celebration.
Hideous, just hideous antics. And here is one hard left troll, a vicious and callous lefty straight from Central Casting. Sadly for us, this one's Australian.
Pretending that you don't enjoy a terrible person's death is not dignified, it's cowardly. And this is exactly how we got here, because this is what Trump is an absolute master at. He is a master at saying the worst, most uncomfortable things, and people on the left just sitting there going, oh, I'm too scared to say what I really think. You just go along with it. You say nothing because it's not uncomfortable enough for you. The only people I have any empathy for in the Charlie Kirk situation are his victims. That is it.
Now, instead of reflecting on the utter evil of what she said there, what she had chosen to share on the World Wide Web, well, instead of reflecting on that, she decided to double down on the ugliness, on the bile, on the depraved lunacy.
All of the drama, I want to reiterate that it is not wrong or unethical or unkind to laugh at the misfortunes of terrible people. That Charlie Kirk incited violence. That's what he did. And then that came back to haunt him. That was his decision. So it's got nothing to do with the people who are laughing and joking about him becoming a human water fountain.
Just foul, vicious, deranged hate. What else can you say about that? Let's have a brief antidote to that ugliness. Let's hear from Jeffree Star, the original, the OG influencer. He had a message for those celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder.
Because I'm standing up for someone that passed away, I'm now being called names in the chat. This is what's wrong with a lot of you people. You will never get far in life. You are sick in the head. Someone just said they're unsubscribing from me. Thank God, please. Because if you believe in they and thems, you're part of the problem. If you're so stupid enough to go against science, please unfollow me. You can be whoever you want to be, but there's science and there's facts. You can pretend in your head you're a cat. You can pretend in your head that you're this and you're that. Good for you. You're still only A or B. And the truth hurts a lot of you, I see.
And huge props to Jeffree Star for that. He posted plenty more on the issue. His following is enormous. He has over 13 million followers on Instagram alone and many more on TikTok. And Many of them are of the left. He pays a big price every time he speaks up, and that takes courage. And it's all about courage and conviction. If you want to know why Charlie's work was so important in giving confidence to students to speak freely, to conservatives to boldly state their position in the face of enormous intimidation on university campuses, let's have a look at this clip. This intimidation is not just from radicalised students, it's also from academia. Listen to what happened to this young man.
What happened? I was walking to Valhalla to get my food exchanged, and PhD student Patrick Mahoney, as well as his accomplice Gerald Hobb, did not like the hat I was wearing. And when my head was down, I made zero eye contact with him. He saw my hat, he ripped the hat off my head, crumbled it. I had to go confront him and say, "What are you doing, dude?" What happened next? He charged at me. Patrick grabbed my chest, slammed it on the road pavement. Then he grabbed my head and also slammed it on the road pavement as hell.
And this was a professor, right?
Yeah.
If a conservative professor would have hunted down a Kamala Harris wearing student, it would have been a hate crime and the #1 news story in the country. Now we could barely get attention for a young man who was punched by a professor here at Washington State University. They're the ones dividing the country. We're the ones trying to heal.
They're the ones dividing the country. Charlie was trying to bring it together through respectful debate. But how do you debate people like this?
I have breaking news. We think that Charlie Kirk just got shot in the neck. Ay, ooh, ah, ooh.
Live by the sword, die by the sword.
There are some people on this app that are sitting there saying, oh, you shouldn't wish death upon any person, no matter what side they're on. That. Charlie Kirk was a Nazi. He was a Nazi. And you know what kind of Nazi is the best Nazi? A dead one.
Gather around, let's all join hands and bow our heads in thoughts and prayers for Charlie Kirk. Thoughts and prayers for Charlie Kirk. Thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers.
I'm not sad. It's about time Karma took out that trash.
Charlie Kirk was a big advocate for the Second Amendment. It worked out well for him.
The best part of this whole goddamn thing is that he is not martyr material, so his death will mean nothing. It will activate no one.
It will mean nothing. Charlie's death will mean nothing. It will impact no one. Really?
It will activate no one.
The bile-filled left cannot comprehend the outpouring of goodwill for Charlie from ordinary people around the world, from world leaders, from artists like Coldplay and Morgan Wallen. And the tributes for Charlie have poured in from sporting leagues as well, formerly painfully woke sporting leagues like the NFL and Major League Baseball. This is the Dallas Cowboys paying tribute to Charlie Kirk and tributes to at college football games. Here is LSU honouring Charlie on the weekend in front of more than 102,000 fans.
You join us in a moment of reflection following the murders of Charlie Kirk in Orem, Utah, Arena Zarutska in Charlotte, North Carolina, and the High School shooting in Colorado. LSU condemns all violence in our community.
And this next tribute shows you how much the culture has shifted. This wouldn't have happened 10 years ago. It wouldn't have happened a year ago. The New York Yankees, in the bluest of blue cities in a blue state, pay tribute to the Happy Warrior, the man who changed so many hearts and minds. And earlier today, the New York Jets paid this tribute to Charlie Kirk's legacy before their game against the Buffalo Bills. Again, this is New Jersey, folks, not Texas. This is a blue state. Watch this.
Charlie Kirk was the bright light in this world.
And the tribute from the Jets did not end there. As the crowd chanted USA, a video of Charlie and a message from his widow Erica played at the stadium. Joining me now is Newsweek's Senior Editor-at-Large and Article 3 Project Senior Counsel Josh Hammer. Josh, that's something special. That shows the impact Charlie Kirk had. They thought they'd kill his influence by taking his life, but they failed.
Rita, let me just first say, this has been really hard. This has been a really, really hard week or so. Charlie and I were pretty close. I've known him for a number of years, but we really became close over the past year and a half, 2 years. We were in virtually daily contact, actually. I spoke with him less than 24 hours before he was assassinated, actually. I was helping to prep him for this very campus tour, especially when it came to the inevitable bombardment of anti-Israel questions there. And this is an irreplaceable void. This is a gargantuan void. That the American right, I mean, we have lost not merely a foot soldier, we have lost not merely a colonel or a lieutenant, we have lost a 5-star general. We have lost one of the absolute titans of our broader battle to save America and by extension save Western civilization. We have likely lost a future president of the United States. That is likely the path that my fallen friend Charlie Kirk was very much on. But I guess what I didn't necessarily appreciate, kind of taking it back to the sports teams, I didn't necessarily fully appreciate the extent of Charlie's penetration of the broader culture. I know him as someone who I would frequently dialogue with about the issues. I know him as someone who, you know, I would go to Turning Point USA events. I know him as someone who I would go on his show, and we were, you know, but I didn't necessarily appreciate that you would have country music megastars like Morgan Wallen and Jason Aldean give out tributes mid-concert to the grieving widow of Charlie, Erica Kirk. I didn't necessarily appreciate that all but 4, I believe, of the NFL teams had a moment of silence to Charlie, which is extraordinary stuff. I mean, you're totally right. When you say that the NFL was about as woke as it gets, they literally had end racism in the end zone. I think they probably still do in most games. They still have end racism in the end zones as a tribute to 2020, the Black Lives Matter, Antifa stuff. But nonetheless, Charlie was such a larger than life figure, even at the tender age of 31 years old, that they felt compelled to honor him. So, you know, I am personally not fully past the mourning and grieving period, Rita. Again, it's been very difficult for a lot of us. I was speaking at a conference out in Las Vegas this past Friday, and all of us out there were kind of, you know, memorializing Charlie in our speeches there. It's really hitting the American conservative community really, really hard. But I didn't fully appreciate just how much he penetrated not just American conservatives, really kind of the broader American and frankly broader global culture.